Hey Victoria, it's Shamini. I'm going to go over your pictures and I'm just going to show you mistakes. So you're going to see all the really good pictures that you took on the blog. Um, I've got 17 pictures here and we're just going to look at what we talked about today with toes, background, and sun. Whoop, I'm doing all sorts of fun stuff. Okay, so with this one, I love this picture, and this is just an example of what we're talking about. Oh my god, 1 second. Okay, this is an example of what we're talking about with stuff being too busy in the background. Because you see the play toy and all of these houses here, and this would just be a lot cuter if there were just trees, or especially, see how nice it is if you only look at the family with the white background. It's so like clean and simple. Like that. I'd like that better, but I don't want to crop it in that much because I think it'll be fuzzy. Well, maybe I will. Well, anyway, but you see that picture, I prefer that to that. So if you get down lower on your belly, you can point the camera up towards the sky and you'll get that picture that I just created with the crop, but you'll get it in the camera. And this is an example, like we were practicing about finding blank backgrounds in a busy area. This is a busy area. If you get down on your belly, look up, the sky will be blank. Okay, now, this was just my comparison. You did a really good job in this next picture here with using a nice clean background here. I mean, obviously there's still stuff in the back. If you're going to be perfect, I'd have you take a step to your right or have them move to their right this way so that the pillars are not right behind her. Okay, now let's move on to toes. So this is a super cute little picture. And then we're losing his toes, we're losing the tips of his fingers and hers. It's not a huge problem, but again, it just makes it look a little bit accidental rather than intentional. So I think this one is super cute, and you took a bunch of pictures in this pose, and I was just thinking it would be nice if we also had a wide shot. Not super duper wide, like what we were practicing today, but just wider, maybe so you could see their full bodies and the log. Because here, we know they're sitting on a log, but sometimes when you have an unusual position like this, it's not always clear that it's a log, and it just helps the viewer feel more comfortable with the photos when they know the context. So if you had one wide with their whole bodies in the log, and then this would be the next one that would be the close-up version, that would be better. Toes! We cut his little toes off again. This is super cute. I love it that you're down low. But we missed his toe. And then, let's see. Here you go. This is perfect. I love your angle. We don't have any missing toes, and it's wide. And then I would say what we'd be missing in this series is just that super duper wide, where you get really far back and they're tiny, so the people would just be like this big down here on the bottom. Okay, let's talk about sun. So the sun here, my eye looks straight to the back of his shirt, and they get lost in darkness here. So it would be better if they stayed exactly where they were, and then you walked to your left more, so that the sun is coming more from behind them when you take their picture. Or, yeah, I think that would probably be the best thing to do, actually, just because this bright sun here is distracting. I was going to tell you, for these series, these are super cute, but we want to think about recomposing a little bit more, because this is the same thing that happened with the Lee family, where the the trees are super cool, but they're getting cut in half, and then we have so much grass at the bottom. So it would be better if you tilted your camera up and recomposed so that the bottom of the picture was right here, and then we'd get more tree above, which would have a really cool impact. Same thing here, too much grass and not enough balloons. And so you just tilt your camera up to recompose, and then that's awesome. Balloons being cut off is just kind of super distracting for some reason. Also, there's this tree here which it's not ruining the shot by any means, but like I told you, sometimes it's, if you look at this side of the picture, if you look at this side of the picture, the trees there and the balloons don't look as cool as they do on this side of the picture. See how they look cooler? So if the whole picture didn't have any tree and it was just all sky, it would look awesome, I think. Okie dokie. Same thing here. Now the balloons are in a nice open area, but the baby's kind of got the tree behind him. So ideally, if you were going to have the trees, the baby and the balloons would be over here instead. And you would tilt your camera up so that there's not as much grass, there's more balloons, and baby isn't right in the middle. He's down in a third. Okay, talking about backgrounds. So the background here is kind of busy. There's like cement, trees, balloons, and I assume the water bottle and stuff got moved. But you see, this is like the horizon cropping across through your head. It's like these sticks are being cut in half by this ledge. So that's kind of distracting. So we want to look for smooth backgrounds rather than stuff that has ink. You want to avoid lines that distract the eye. So here there's a predominant line horizontal, and then there's a predominant line vertical, which is the tree. So that's kind of like subconsciously distracting when really you want a plain background so all of your attention will come to the one. So it loses a bit of impact because these lines distract. Okay. So in this one you've moved, so no longer do you have these distracting lines, but now there's this kind of opening back here, which is distracting. And there's a handsome man right there. And what we're looking for is something more like this grass here. So if you turned the sign maybe a little bit so that it was direct, the back of it was to these beautiful pieces of grass, and then if you stood up tall and shot down onto him, or if you got on your belly in the sand and shot kind of up at him, that way you wouldn't really see the stuff that's back here in the background, but you just have this plain, nice, grassy background. That would be ideal. Okay, and these are cute, but here there's this sunspot, and again, if an area is bright, your eye will go to it. So that could be a little distracting when really we want to be looking here, but the lighting and everything is perfect right there. Okay, and then life gets difficult. So as you see, there's all of this shade back here, but it's super bright here, and really it's quite bright in the background because there's the water. So the first thing you could do would be to have him sit back here in the grass where it's dark, and that would help a lot with the spotty lighting. And the second thing you could do is use a different background. So don't shoot with him in the dark and the background being super bright. If he's in the dark, it's a good idea to find something dark for the background, like a tree or a bush or rocks, because then the color on him and the light on him will match the color in the background. And every time that there's kind of a contrast, like the background's super bright and he's super dark, vice versa, it starts to get a little bit, it loses that dreamy effect that we all love. Okay, and then we talked about this already. Half of his body's bright and half of his body is dark, and then like here on his legs there's like weird lines of light, dapples on his face. It's just the trickiness of shooting in dappled light. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then this tree at the top. It could be really cool, but I don't think there's like enough of it to make it awesome. So I think it would look better when it's like this. It's just a clean background and then the focus is all on him. Like you did here. You cut out the tree. But he's too spotty again, and then you see this nice big head shadow that he has on his chest right here. So yes, move him back into the shade. Or direct sun. Cool, but overall you did a really good job. I just wanted to show you these are the things you can improve on. and then you'll see your awesome pictures on the blog. All right, thank you. Bye.